Crabbing is great fun and it provides the basis of a fantastic meal. Not too many people will knock back a feed of fresh crabs. Today we're going to chase some blue swimmer crabs. These are a pretty common species around the southern half of the country, and they live in estuary systems. They live around weed beds and open sand patches. So if you're out chasing a few blue swimmers, that's where you want to set your crab trap. This is a standard old crab trap. This one's made by Jarvis Walker. It's a heavy duty model. It's got 4 entranceways in here. And this crab trap is collapsible, which makes it really easy to store. So you just take these little struts off and then it folds down nice and flat so you can keep it in your shed at home, and it's easy to transport in your boat. But when you use it, you've got to put the struts up, and then it becomes nice and taut. It's important that it's taut so the crabs can't get out once they get in. The way a crab trap works is that you set a bait in here, and when you place the trap in the water, the bait sends out a burley trail or a scent trail. The crabs nearby smell that. They go looking for an easy feed. They come across the trap. They can see and smell the bait in here, but they just need to work out how to get in. So the idea is that you make it reasonably easy for the crab to get in, but pretty hard for him to get back out again. What happens is the crab comes along, he wants to get in and chew on that bait, wanders around here, pushes his way, then he finds this little gap here, walks up this ramp, makes his way in, starts eating the bait, and then you can't get back out again. So it's important that the holes that the crab get in aren't too big in case they can actually find their way back out. But mainly when they're in there, they're stuck in there. Now, one of the key aspects of setting up a good crab trap is to use the right sort of bait. Some people think that you can just chuck any old mouldy bait in there, but that's not the case. Like all types of fishing, fresh is best. Now with crabs, you want to have an oily type of fish that sends out a lot of scent. So things like Australian salmon, tailor frames, tuna frames, that sort of style of bait is good. Pilchards aren't too bad, they're a little bit soft, but they're not too bad. I've got some salmon fillets here that I caught off the beach a couple of days ago. Still nice and fresh, they've got plenty of oil in them, they'll smell great to the crabs. So the go is here, you've got this bait holder. Now this bait holder is designed to do a couple of things. One is that it's really tough so that the crabs can't break in there and steal all your bait. And the other is that it's got lots of holes to allow lots of scent and oil to come through. So it's important you use something like this when you're setting your bait, because if it's just in like a little rope bag or something, the crabs will destroy it. So load it up with a couple of fillets of fresh salmon so that they can send out all that nice oil and attract the crabs from far and wide. A nifty tip here is to use a cable tie to actually close the bag up. What that does is it just makes it that little bit more crab proof, and it's a simple matter when you come back to maybe rebait your trap, is just cut it off and use another cable tie. So then you simply put this bait sack into the crab trap. You want to have it sort of in the middle so it's sending out an even scent dispersion, and then you simply attach it. You've got a little rope in here to attach it with, or you could actually cable tie it to the floor of the crab trap, whatever is suitable for you. You want to make sure it's reasonably firmly attached so that it's not going to wave around too much and end up on one side of the pot. So if it ends up on one side of the pot here, the crabs could actually just sit there and nibble on it and not actually get into your pot. So you want to keep it in the middle. Okay, so once that's in there, it's a fairly simple exercise to make sure that the trap is nice and secure. This trap's got a little hook arrangement here so that you can place that guy on the end of the trap there, and it keeps that entry, that hole here up the top, reasonably secure. Obviously you want to be able to get your crab trap back out of the water once you put it in, so it's important that you attach a piece of rope or string to it. I've got 10 metres of cord here. On the other end of the cord is a float. In New South Wales, where I am at the moment, by law you have to have your name and address on the float. So it's important that you check your own state regulations regarding crabs. There's some differences in laws depending on where you live, so just make sure you check out the fisheries website in your state to make sure that you're abiding by the law. So once you've got your trap baited up, you need to deploy it in the suitable location. Now one thing to remember here is not to just chuck it out. You need to actually quite carefully lower the trap in so it's going to be positioned properly. If you just belt it out any old way, there's a risk that it might end up, lying like that on the bottom. It's not going to work effectively. You're not going to get any crabs. So when you deploy your trap, just lower it in quite gently like this. Make sure it's even on all sides, and then just let it sink down so that it's going to rest on the bottom nice and evenly.